Good morning all. Myself Sanami Ando from Holy Grace Academy of Engineering in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So I'm going to deal with a session in compiler design. As already you know that in the design of compiler we'll be having 6 phases plus 2 extra phases which can be called as error handling and symbol table management. So today we are going to discuss about the second phase of compiler design, that is syntax analysis or parsing. We'll be calling it as syntax analysis or parsing, and we'll be seeing subtopics in these sessions. So we'll move on to the topic. So in today's class I'll be writing what all topics we are going to handle. Okay. So first we are going to see what is a parser. Okay, first we will be seeing what is a parser, and we will be seeing the different types of parsers, which is top-down parsers and bottom-up parsers. Top-down parsers and bottom-up parsers. So we'll differentiate between these two types of parsers first. After that we'll be moving on to bottom-up parsers in detail. So that is, we'll be seeing what is meant by bottom-up parsers, under which we'll be seeing the definition of bottom-up parsers. Then we'll be seeing what is meant by handles and handle pruning. And we'll be seeing different types of bottom-up parsers. So this is what we are going to cover in this particular session. So first we'll see what is meant by a parser, or what is the basic functionality of a parser. So a parser or syntax analysis is the second phase of the compiler design, which is mainly used in order to identify the errors or the syntax errors which is occurring in the tokens. So after the first phase, that is the lexical analysis phase, we'll be getting certain tokens. Okay, so by using these tokens we need to generate the parse trees. So before generating the parse trees, we need to identify whether there is any syntax errors in this parse tree. So that is what the parser phase or syntax analysis phase is doing. It will be identifying all the syntax errors in the tokens before generating the parse tree. So while analyzing the tokens, if there is no errors, the parse tree will be generated successfully, or if there is any syntax errors occurring in the tokens, the syntax tree won't be generated. It will be passed as an error message to the user. So that is meant by parsers, which is mainly used in order to analyze the syntax errors in the tokens. In order to analyze the syntax errors in the tokens. Okay, and this is mainly classified into two types: top-down parsers and bottom-up parsers. In the top-down parsers, what will happen is we'll be having a particular productions or a particular grammar with us. Okay, so we'll be starting with the start symbol and we'll be reaching to the input string. So in top-down parsing, what will happen is we'll be having a start symbol. From that start symbol, we'll have to reach to our input string. That is known as top-down parsing. So let us suppose if my start symbol is going to be S, from that S with the productions I need to reach to the input string. Let us suppose my input string is ID star ID. So that is meant by top-down parsing. And in bottom-up parsing, what will happen is we'll be generating the start symbol from the input string. So if I'm having an input string with me, from that input string I will have to generate the start symbol. So that is known as bottom up passing. Okay, so top down passing means from the start symbol we will be reaching to the input string, and bottom up passing means from the input string we will have to reach to the start symbol. So that is the main difference between top down passing and bottom up passing. Now we will see in detail the definition of bottom up passes. Okay, with an example we will see what is a bottom up passing. So let us consider the grammar S giving A, B, E, and A producing A, B, C or B, and B producing D. Let us take an example and see how the bottom up passers work. Okay, so I have already told that in the bottom up passers, from the input string we will have to reach to the start symbol. So here let us take the input string as, A, B, B, C, D, E. Okay, so this is going to be my input string, that is A, B, B, C, D, E, which I need to pass using this particular grammar. So we'll consider this as example 1. Okay, so we'll see how I am going to derive to the start symbol. So this is going to be my input string. What I need to do is I need to search for certain substrings from this particular string. Okay, so let us take the first substring as A. So I am taking A here and I need to check whether this A matches with the right hand side of the projection. So I will be taking A and I will be seeing whether I am having any symbols A here. Okay, we will be taking a substring which matches the right hand side of the projection. So I am going to take the first substring as A and I am seeing that there is no projections here. Okay, there is no right hand side projections for this particular A. Now next I am moving on to the second substring, or I can combine these two. Okay, so if I am considering AB, I am not having any substrings in the right hand side for this particular string also. So when I am looking into B, I am having a projection here, that is A derives B. Okay, so what I will be doing is I will be checking whether there is a substring which matches the right hand side of the projection, which can be reduced to the left hand side of the projection. So here this B will be reduced to A. Okay, so in the first step we will be taking various substrings and we will be seeing whether it is matching with the right hand side of the projection, and we need to reduce that right hand side projection into left hand side. That is our process until we will be reaching the start symbol. So here B will be reduced to A. Okay, so here we are going to reduce B to A. So I will be getting the string as A, B, C, D, E. Okay, my input string is changed to this particular string. Now again I need to check for a substring which matches the right hand side of the projection. So if I am taking A, B, C here, I am seeing a projection here, that is A, B, C is seen at the right hand side, and this A, B, C can be reduced to A. So in the second step I can reduce A, B, C to A. Okay, so this will be reduced to A. So A, D, E. Okay, now again I will be checking for a substring which matches with the right hand side of the projection. So I can see D which gives B. Okay, so if I am having a D here, that D is seen in the right hand side of the projection and that can be reduced to B. So this B will be reduced to A, B, E. Okay, now finally if I am taking this particular string, I can see this particular string, at the right hand side of the production, and that can be reduced to S. So this is my S. So this is the process of bottom-up passing. From the input string, we will be able to derive the start symbol. So mainly in bottom-up passing, we will be using rightmost derivation. Okay, we will be using rightmost derivation in reverse. Okay, so this is an important point to be noted. In bottom-up passing, what we will be doing? We will be doing the rightmost derivation, and that will be done in reverse order. So that is meant by bottom-up passes. So that is going to be the definition of bottom-up passes. In bottom-up passing, what we will be doing is we will be checking for the substrings in the particular input string, and that substrings will be reduced to the left hand side of the productions in order to get the start symbol. That is known as bottom-up passing. So there goes the definition of bottom-up passing. Okay, so if you are considering another grammar, let us suppose E giving E plus E, E giving E star E, E giving E, and E giving ID. This is the usual grammar which we will be using in order to explain the bottom-up passes. And let us consider the input string as ID1 plus ID2 star ID3. Okay, so if I want to reduce this particular string by using this particular grammar, what we will be doing? Okay, so here first what we will be doing is we will be taking a substring. So let us consider this as my substring. Okay, so that will be reduced to E because E derives ID. So here we can write E derives ID. Okay, so in this step we will be getting E plus ID2 star ID3. Now in the next step what we will be doing is we are having another ID here. So again that ID or that substring is to be reduced to a particular symbol at the left hand side. So here what we will be doing is this ID will be again reduced to E. So this gives E plus E star ID3. Here also we are using the production E giving ID. Okay. So now again I am having another substring here. So what I will be doing is I am going to reduce this ID3 into E again. So this gives E plus E star E. Again I have used the production E giving ID. Now when we are looking, if I am taking this particular string, that can be reduced to E again. So this will be again changed to E plus E by using the production E giving E star E. Okay. Now again this substring can be changed by using this particular production, that is E. So which gives E giving E plus E. So from the input string we are getting the start symbol, which means this is explaining the concept of bottom-up passes. So next we are going to see what is meant by a handle and what is meant by handle pruning. So this can be explained by using an example. Before that, I may define what is a handle. So a handle means it is a substring which we can use in order to know whether it is matching with the right hand side of the production. So handle means it is going to be the substring. Okay, it is going to be the substring which we use in order to check whether it is matching with the right hand side of the production in order to reduce it into the left hand side by using handle pruning. So handles means the substrings and handle pruning means the reduction step. Okay, handle pruning means reducing the arches into LHS. Okay, so that is known as handle pruning. So with an example, we'll explain what is a substring and what is a handle and what is handle pruning. Okay. So let us take the same grammar which we have seen earlier, that is S giving A, D, E, A giving A, B, C, or B, and B giving D. And we are going to take the substring A, B, B, C, D, E, or the input string. Here we will be considering this A, B, B, C, D, E. So in order to explain this concept, we will be using a table in which we will be having a right sentential form, and we will be writing the handles, and we will be writing the reducing step. Okay. So first we are going to consider our input string. So that is going to be written in the right sentential form. Here why we are using right sentential form? Because in bottom up parsing we will be using rightmost derivation. That is why we are going to use right sentential form. So my input string is going to be A, B, B, C, D, E. Okay. So here I am going to identify my first handle as B, which can be reduced into the left hand side. So the handle identified here will be B, and I am having a B here which can be reduced to A. So my reducing step will be A giving B. Okay. So in the next step, the right sentential form is changed to A, B, C, D, E. Now in the next step, my next substring or next handle will be A, B, C. So I will be writing the next handle as A, B, C, which I can see in my productions. Okay, so this can be reduced to A. So A giving A, B, C. So in the next step, what I will be getting is this A, B, C will be reduced to A. So I will be getting the input string as A, D, E. Here next I will be choosing the substring as D, and I can see a D here which can be reduced to B. So my substring will be D, and it will be reduced by using the reducing step B giving D. Okay. Now here I am getting the string as A, B, E. Now I will be taking the substring as the entire input string, which can be my substring will be A, B, E. Sorry, my grammar is going to be A, B, E. Okay. So this A, B, E will be reduced to S. So my substring will be A, B, E, which is reduced using the step S giving A, B, E. Okay. So from this you have understood that a handle means it is a substring which we choose in order to reduce to the left hand side, and handle pruning means it is the reducing step which we will be using in order to reduce it to the left hand side. So that is meant by handles and handle pruning. And next we will see different types of bottom up parsing. So next we are going to see different types of bottom up parsers. Okay, so the bottom up parsers can be mainly classified into, or the general form of the bottom up parsers is going to be the shift reduce parser. Okay, the bottom up parser, the general classification we will be having shift reduce parsers, which in turn is divided into two types. The first one is operator precedence parsers, and the second one is LR parsers. And in this LR parsers, it is again classified into LR0 parsers, then SLR, CLR, and LALR parsers. Okay, so this is going to be the general classification of bottom-up parsers, in which we will be seeing shift reduce parsers, which is again classified into operator precedence passers and LR passers. So in today's session, we will be seeing about what is shift reduce passers with an example. Okay, what is shift reduce passers? So a shift reduce passer is a general classification of bottom-up passers which can be mainly used in order to produce a pass tree or a syntax tree from the leaves to the top. As we have already defined the bottom-up passers, the same definition is going to be for shift reduce passers, which will help us to get a start symbol from the leaves or from the input nodes. And mainly there are two data structures which we will be using in order to implement the shift reduce passers. So two data structures can be used in order to implement the shift reduce passers. That is, first one is a stack and second one is going to be an input buffer. Okay, so we are having two data structures which can be used in order to implement shift reduce passer. And in the stack, we will be having a dollar symbol in order to show the bottom of the stack. Okay, bottom of the stack. We will be having a dollar symbol in order to show the bottom of the stack. And the input buffer is mainly used in order to store the input string. Okay, the input buffer is mainly used in order to store the input string. And this will be also consisting of a dollar symbol which is mainly used in order to show that the input string is going to be having an end. Okay, so in the input buffer we will be using the dollar symbol as an end marker, and in the stack we will be using dollar symbol in order to show it as the bottom of the stack. So these are the two data structures which we will be using. And the next one is, we need to know what all functions can be done by the shift reduce passers. Okay, or actions performed by shift reduce passer. Okay, so there are basically four actions which are performed by the shift reduce passer. First one is going to be, as the name indicates, that is going to be a shift function. Second one is going to be the reduce function. Third one is going to be accept function, and fourth one is going to be the error function. So these are the basic actions which can be performed by shift reduce passer. So we will see what is a shift action. So a shift means it is considered as a push operation of the stack. Okay, it is considered similar to the shift operation or the push operation, which means by using this particular action we will be able to push or shift the input symbols into the stack. Okay, so if I am having an input string with me, we need to shift these input symbols into the stack. That is what is done by the shift action. Now next one is reduce action. That is, what we will be doing is, from the stack we will be checking whether this particular symbol in the stack is matching with the right hand side of the production, and that will be reduced with the left hand side of production by using the reduce step. So this is mainly used for reducing RHS to LHS, which means if I am having a symbol in the stack, I will be checking for a match between this particular symbol in the right hand side of the production, and that will be changed to the LHS of the production. So that is reduce step. And accept step means if there is no error, I will be able to generate a pass tree easily by using a shift reduce passer, which means it is a successful completion of the passing. That is the accept state. And error means if in between any error occurs, I won't be able to generate a pass tree, which means an error message will be given to the user. So these are the four actions performed by a shift reduce passer. Now we will be seeing how we will be implementing this shift reduce passer by using an example. Okay, so we'll see it with an example. We'll see the configuration of shift reduce parser by using an example. Okay, so example 1, let us consider the grammar E giving E plus E, E giving E star E, E giving E, and E giving ID. This is the general grammar or general expression grammar we will be using in order to implement the shift reduce parsers. And let us suppose our string is ID1 plus ID2 star ID3, or we will consider a small string that is ID1 plus ID2. Okay, we are considering the input string as ID1 plus ID2. So here we will be having 3 columns, or 3 things we need to consider here is, first one is going to be the stack, second one is going to be my input buffer, and third one is going to be the action which we can perform in order to implement the shift reduce parsers. So initially, as we have mentioned, the stack will be consisting of the bottom symbol, that is going to be the dollar, and the input buffer will be consisting of the input string, that is ID1 plus ID2. And as we have already mentioned, in order to show the end of the input string, I am writing a dollar symbol there. Okay, and here I need to know what action we need to perform here. Already we have mentioned 4 actions are there, that is shift, reduce, accept and error. So initially the stack is consisting of no elements. Okay, so we need to shift this particular string into the stack. So my first action will be a shift action. So initially bottom of the stack will be consisting of dollar, input buffer will be consisting of the string, and we need to write what action to be performed. So first I am going to shift this particular input into the stack. Now the stack will be updated with $ID1. Okay, and the rest input string will be written here, that is plus ID2 dollar. Now I need to check any actions can be performed here. So I am having an ID1 here. I am going to my grammar and I am seeing an ID here which can be reduced to E. Okay, so the next step will be a reduce step in which the ID will be reduced to E. So my production will be E giving ID. Okay, so this ID1 is going to be reduced to E in the next step. So ID1 is written as E, and all other elements will be written as such here. Okay, now I will be checking what I need to do in the next step. Okay, now I am having an E here, I cannot do anything. Okay, because only for this I can replace it with E. So I am not having any parenthesis here. So the next action will be again a shift action which is going to be performed, that is this plus will be shifted to the stack. So $E plus will be here, and the rest of the items will be there in the input buffer. Now I will be checking this particular symbols and I will be checking for a match here. So E plus, so I am not having anything like E plus here. So again the next action will be a shift action. So that is this ID2 will be shifted to here. Okay, so $E plus ID2. So here I am having only the dollar symbol. Now I will be checking any reductions can be done here. So this ID2 can be reduced to E again. So here I need to do a reduce step in which we will be using the production E giving ID. Okay, so this ID2 will be changed to E. So my production will be E plus E, and here I am having a dollar symbol, and next I will be checking whether this can be reduced to any other symbols. So E plus E, I am having an E plus E here, this can be reduced to E. So here it it will be again a reduced step which reduces E plus E to E. Okay, so this E plus E is reduced to E, and here I am having a dollar symbol. And now if we are checking the stack, I am having an E here, which is the start symbol. From the input, I am reaching the start symbol, and my input buffer is empty now. So I can tell that the parser has successfully completed the passing, and this step will be my accept step. Okay, so this is how we will be implementing the shift reduce passers. Okay, so shift reduce passers means it is a kind of bottom up passing in which we will be taking an input string, and from the input string we will be reaching to the start symbol, and this is a simple example by which we can implement the shift reduce parser. So in today's session we have seen what is a parser, different types of parsers, in which I have told what is bottom up parsers, its definition, under which we have seen what is handle and handle pruning, and types of bottom up parsers, in which shift reduce parsers was explained. Okay, and in the next sessions we will be seeing more about operator precedence parser. Thank you.